Hello, this is Mark Brickley, and you are watching a presentation on cyberbullying in high school. So first off, what is cyberbullying? With the advent of new technology coming about and students more and more having cell phones and schools going more and more bringing in technology such as the iPad and Chromebooks, cyberbullying is bullying that has really moved from a physical, direct sense and put itself into a more online kind of cyberspace area where people have the ability to post messages and be almost anonymous in what they do. And because of this is most commonly seen in social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and stuff like that. They've even created apps such as Burn Book, which are specifically for the purpose of anonymously sending messages and while the creators of such apps say they aren't for cyberbullying, that they're supposed to be used more in terms of venting, they are almost unanimously being used to bash on other students. So again, why is cyberbullying different? Because it is done through a cell phone and it is done um, over the internet. Uh, it can happen at any time, and a child cannot escape from their bullies simply by going home and not being removing themselves from the environment. And because of this, it can anonymously and widely spread, and it can actually follow students. If they, for example, feel the need to leave one school, it could potentially follow them from one school to the next simply because these things exist online and it's very hard to get rid of once they are posted. So some examples of cyberbullying can be something as simple as receiving mean texts or emails or tweets. But it could also extend to rumors um, distributed via social media, videos and images or pictures of someone distributed via social media that the person wouldn't want out there. And it could also be the creation of fake profiles to either imitate or harass the victim. There are many cases where someone has created a fake profile to make the victim feel like they're a friend just to get information from them and then spread that information and use it maliciously. So what are some of the effects that cyberbullying can have on our youth? Children who are cyberbullied are more likely to abuse alcohol and drugs. They're more likely to not go to school simply because they do not want to face uh, their abusers. They do not want to go to an environment that they feel they're being made fun of. And because of this can cause students to have lower grades and self-esteem and also have more health problems. And the bullying can jump from an online place to an actual physical place when they get to school. So some troubling facts about cyberbullying is that approximately 42% of students report having been bullied online. And this is something to consider, that these are the ones that are reporting it, and we're not sure exactly how many would be here if everyone came forward. These are simply students that are reporting it to these studies. And 21% of students have received a mean or threatening email or message. 13% have been the subject of rumors. 7% have had someone impersonate them online, and 5% have had a mean or hurtful picture posted. And these are just some hand-picked statistics. There's a lot more out there that go towards the effects that cyberbullying has on these students. So I wanted to provide some examples of cyberbullying that we see in high school, but I didn't want to just create some fake examples. I actually went out and found real examples of real students. And this first example is the student is cyberbullying that happened to a boy named Ryan Halligan. He was specifically 13 years old, and this specific example is along the lines of rumor spreading. So Ryan Halligan was diagnosed with a learning disability, and the learning disability caused him to have a speech impediment that set him apart from most students. And because of this, he was ridiculed and bullied constantly. He had specifically one friend when he was in elementary school that when they got to middle school had gained a semblance of popularity and used a lot of the private information that Ryan had shared with her because she was his friend against Ryan to kind of further the bullying that Ryan had been receiving. And in one case, he was actually, because of the speech impediment, one of his fellow classmates decided to spread a rumor that Ryan was gay, which in turn led to more harassment on social media, and private conversations between him and his, assumed friends were copied and pasted and widely circulated with his classmates and used to further damage Ryan. And unfortunately, Ryan's story ends when he commits suicide because of these bullies on October 7th, 2003. So my second example is image sharing, and it involves Jessica Logan and Hope Witzel. These are two separate incidences. Neither girl knew the other. Jessica Logan was an 18-year-old girl, and Hope Witzel was 13. In both cases, these girls sent sexually explicit images of their bodies to their boyfriends, who in turn decided to share it with their friends, and then those people shared it with more people, and it spider webs from there. And at one point, for example, for Hope Witzel, the image of her was being circulated at 6 different schools. And in both cases, their social lives kind of spiraled out of control. They both were feeling threatened. They both were the victims of very, very horrendous, cyberbullying appearing both in person and on social media. And in both cases, they both committed suicide. So how do we prevent cyberbullying? First, I want to look at it as educators. What can we do to prevent cyberbullying? And the biggest thing as an educator, we need to do is assess the scope of the problem at the school we're teaching at. If it is a problem that is very widespread, a problem very widespread needs much more serious action than a problem that is very, localized within a few students. And while serious action may not be the right choice of words, but a bigger scope or a much more all-encompassing reaction, if it is very, very widespread, is probably needed than maybe direct intervention if it's a small, isolated event. And as teachers, we need to be teaching to our students that all forms of bullying is unacceptable or are unacceptable. We need to establish a peer mentoring or a peer mediation program at our schools. Personally, I work at Eastlake High School, and we have a very good peer mediation group that students know they can go to if they're feeling threatened, or if they see cyberbullying occurring, they can report it. And we need to create a comprehensive formal behavior contract specific to cyberbullying and behavior while online. And they need to be addressed when the student arrives at the school, whether it's at a freshman orientation or if a student transfers later. It needs to be addressed immediately so that they understand the expectations of behavior while online and this greater concept of digital citizenship. So if you are a student, what can be done to prevent cyberbullying is as a student, you need to report incidences to the appropriate group at school, whether it's a peer mediation group if your school has it, or if it's the administration. Whatever you feel to be the most effective way to report it, do so, but it needs to be reported. And it needs to be recognized. So in order to recognize it, you need to educate yourself on what cyberbullying is, and I will provide links in this presentation that goes into what cyberbullying is and how to identify it. And you need to identify it, you need to recognize it, and you need to report it. And you need to make sure that you are not actively engaging in cyberbullying. And in pretty much all cases, do not even participate in the conversation. Don't think that you can step in and end it. Don't think that you should engage in it. Just simply report it, and that's the best way to go about it. And you need to take it seriously. Don't sit there and think, oh, well, it's kind of funny, or oh, he's just joking around. Because just because someone may seem like they're joking around, you don't know what's actually going on. In all cases of cyberbullying need to be taken seriously, and they need to be reported. So some additional resources that can help anyone trying to help prevent or educate themselves on cyberbullying is found here. This is a link. All of these are links. So simply by clicking these links will take you to the sites. But this here is done by, I believe, scholastic.com, and it's for all ages, and it's tips to help stop cyberbullying, whether you're a teacher, a parent, or a student. This is the National Bullying Prevention Center. This is a place where you can report bullying and you can get resources on preventing bullying. This is a link to the It Gets Better project. This is specifically related to LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender bullying. And it's a project that's been around for many years now, and it's about stepping in and helping teens that are LGBT and providing them with the information that they need to kind of get them through essentially, whatever, in cases of cyberbullying that they're having to go through. This is a link for lessons for teachers on cyberbullying. So if you're a teacher out there and you want to give a lesson to your students, this provides a lot of different lessons broken up by grade level and what is actively going on in the atmosphere or the culture of your school. These are a wide variety of very, very useful lessons that teachers can give on cyberbullying. It even has some teachers for teachers. And then lastly, we have a Create Your Own Cyberbullying Toolkit. So you go to the Create Your Own Cyberbullying Toolkit, and it'll ask you a series of questions, and it'll provide you with further resources that you can use to help stop cyberbullying. And you can say, if you're a teacher, you can say whether you're an elementary school teacher, a middle school teacher, or a high school teacher, and as well as students, you can say your grade level. And it provides resources and necessary resources curtailed to specifically your situation. So these are some of the resources that I used in creating this presentation. Every single one was very, very helpful, very, very powerful, and very, very well presented. So further information can also be found at each of these websites. Thank you.